Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's episode of the Cellar TV. So what we're trying today is a really interesting wine. It is made from the Rkatsiteli grape varietal, which is heralded as the oldest grape varietal known to man, which is really exciting. Now this is a particularly quite an exciting one because Rkatsiteli is a Georgian grape varietal. It's indigenous to Georgia and generally speaking is not seen outside of Georgia, which is really quite wonderful. And what's really interesting here is that this is actually one of the first grape varietals that was brought over to New York State by Dr Konstantin Frank, who is a bit of a, well, yeah, he's a bit of a granddaddy as far as wine and viticulture is concerned throughout the USA. So he brought over quite a lot of, well, one, experience, but two, different grape varietals to explore and basically stretch out the limitations and find out the limitations of what New York State can do and produce. And Rkatsiteli was, given his sort of European mindset and all the rest, was one of the grape varietals that he initially brought over, which is really wonderful. So as I say, this is Dr. Konstantin Frank, who are up in the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. Now this is a little bit of a cooler place than what Rkatsiteli is used to in Georgia, which is sort of just off the Mediterranean there, right up in sort of Central Europe, and it is obviously a little bit warmer, so this is quite interesting. Anyway, let's give it a little bit of sniff on the nose, shall we? I really love this nose because it is both citrusy and floral all at the same time, whereas a lot, and that sounds like a silly thing to say, I know, but a lot of wines, they tend to be either citrusy or either floral, and sometimes they'll have a little bit of the other, sort of just curving in. This is actually packed with both citrus and floral right on the nose. So you're getting a lot of those sort of beautiful honeysuckle sort of characteristics, and then a lot of citrus for me. And those citrus flavors are largely sort of lemon, a little bit of lime pith, but lots of not tangerine, grapefruit, I should say, which is really quite wonderful. And as it opens up, a lot of sort of white peach, a little bit of white nectarine is also coming through. And for me, one of the other big things is the tree fruit, red apples, you know. All right, so let's give it a little bit of a taste. So this is also quite a really interesting wine because of the fact that one, actually I should have mentioned this before, is Rkatsiteli is usually made in an orange wine style, and that is how, and an orange wine is essentially a white wine which is made like a red wine, so it is macerated and or fermented with their skins, which gives one that orangey sort of colour, and also two, a little bit of tannin. Here it doesn't have that, it's just treated like a normal Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay or whatever, so it's a lot more sort of refreshing, a little bit more zesty as well to sort of drink, which is really quite interesting. But the other thing here is that it's got zippy lightning acidity running up and down your palate, like a Riesling, for instance. But it's also really full in body. For me, it's very much like a Chardonnay in sort of palate weight, as far as that is concerned. So if you can think of like a Chablis or an unoaked Chardonnay, that sort of palate weight, but a little bit more sort of zestiness there, which makes it sort of feel like a medium-bodied wine, but also still quite zippy with its acidity there. On the palate, as it opens up in particular, there's this really sort of nutty note, which I'm pretty sure will come from the autolysis characteristic. There isn't a massive thing here, so it's not massively nutty, but for me it's just sort of in the background, adding a little bit of complexity, sort of sesame seed brittle, just a little bit of those sort of blanched almond characteristics, or just in the background on the palate here, and also on the finish. But for me, mainly those same characteristics on the palate there is still those beautiful sort of tangerine, little bit of grapefruit here, but the really sort of extreme apple flavour for me, actually, red apple flavour, so not that sort of grassy green apple, but really beautiful sort of biting right into a beautiful fresh red apple. That is for me this particular wine, and I love it. And the best part about it is that it's not going to break the bank to try it as well, so it is quite different, but it's only about $35, I'm pretty sure it is. We've only got a few bottles left of this particular vintage, which is still drinking really, really well now, and we'll be getting some of the 2016, I imagine, or the 2017 perhaps, whatever the current vintage will be later this year, no doubt. So it's fun, it's an exciting grape varietal, and it's something I definitely recommend you to go out trying. And also point out that we did just do a quick video which is comparing this Rkatsiteli to a Georgian Rkatsiteli, so one that's actually made in Georgia. And the link for that is down below, no doubt. And so make sure you do check that out, and also a whole bunch of our other videos as well. And of course, please do like, comment away, and subscribe if you have enjoyed the video, and also to keep in the loop for all of our other tasting videos, or also information videos as well. Anyway, I've been Connal, this has been the Cellar TV. Cheers.